Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is our first extra block for our 2021 Directional Sampler Afghan. Now if you haven't seen yet, one reason that I have decided to add a couple extra blocks is so if anybody has some blocks they don't like, or you just want to make your Afghan a little bit bigger, you're going to have some extra blocks you can work up to add to the blanket. So this is our first one. Now this this block consists of a 2-row repeat, and 1 row we build our arrows, and the second row is just a single crochet across. So 1 row you get a little bit of a break, and the other row we create this design. So this stitch pattern is 12 plus 4. Now having said that, since the 12 is so high, when we work up we're going to chain 40. So that's 36. 12 times 3 is 36 plus 4, 40. Now the reason that I'm telling you guys this is because the stitch pattern is so high that either we get really close to 12 inches, I think it's like 11, or we get way over 12 inches. So what I decided to do was to work the multiple a little bit closer to the 11 inch, and then we're going to block it to the 12 inches. And that creates this really pretty block. So I'm using my 6mm. You're going to need a needle and some scissors, and then I am using my Crafter's Secret Big Idea from Hobby Lobby in the color Fabulous. Alright, so since I've already got my block done, I'm going to work it on a smaller scale for you guys. But you guys get your chain of 40 done and come back here. And I'm going to get a little bit of a smaller chain done. Give me some slack. Alright. Okay, so I have a little chain sampler done. You guys get your chain of 40. Now for row 1, we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from hook. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to work a double right in there. And then we're going to double into the next 2 chains. 1 and 2. We're going to skip that next chain, and then we're going to work a double into the next 2 chains. 1 and 2. Alright, so now we're going to come right around the front, and we're going to work a front post treble into that chain we skipped. So here's a couple little hints or tips that I have. The very first thing I do is I pinch that chain so I don't lose it. Yarn over twice, and then I just come straight down and go right into that chain. Still holding it to the side, and I work my treble. Just like that. And then when you bring your work back to the way it is, the way it's supposed to be, I mean, the treble is sitting right in front of those 2 doubles that we just worked, which is exactly what we want. Alright, so now that we've got that front post worked, we're going to skip 2 chains again, double crochet into the next. Okay, sorry guys, I messed that up. That's not a double, that's a front post. So we yarn over twice, skip 2 chains, front post into the next chain. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come right behind that front post and work a double into the 2 chains we skipped. So again, the very first thing I do is pinch those chains so I don't lose them. So we're just going to bring this down, and right there is my first my first chain. So I'm just going to double crochet right into that first chain. Then if you get lost, bring things back up and you can see right there's that chain we need. Double crochet into that chain. So there's our first little arrow. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 6 chains. So right there is our front post. So we're going to go right into the next chain, 1, and we're going to double crochet into the next 6. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, now we're going to start that all over. We're going to skip 2 chains. Or, I'm sorry, so 1 chain, bleh. Skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next 2. I'm getting confused. Double crochet into the next 2. Skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next 2, and now we're going to come back and we're going to front post into that chain that we skipped. So yarn over twice, and I'm pinching it. I'm going to just come right down, and then I'm just going to work a treble. So there's the first part of our arrow. So now we're going to skip 2 and front post into the next. 1, or I'm sorry, I was going to do the yarn overs. Anywho. Alright, so there's our treble. Now I'm going to pinch those 2 chains we skipped, because we're going to come back now and we're going to double crochet into both of them. One and 2. And now your repeat would be to double crochet into the next 6 chains. Okay? And then repeat, skip 1, double crochet into the next 2, and so on. And now that we're to the end, we double crochet into the last 4. 1, 2, sorry guys, I got a knot there. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so your row repeat was skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next 2, front post and come back and work, yarn over twice, come back and work a front post into the chain we skipped. Skip 2 chains, front post into the next chain. Bring that front post to the front and work a double crochet into the 2 chains that you skipped. Come back, double crochet into the next 6. Repeat that again. Skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next 2. Yarn over twice, come back to that skip chain and work a front post, treble. Skip 2, yarn over twice and front post, treble into the, or not front post, it'd just be a treble, into the next chain. Come back and you're going to double crochet into the next 2 chains, and then repeat that. Skip 1, double crochet into the next 2, yarn over twice, come back and work a treble into that chain you skipped. Skip 2 chains, yarn over twice and work a treble into the next chain. Now you come back and work a double crochet into the 2 chains that you skipped, and come back, and then we're going to work 4 double crochets. Okay? Now we're going to move on to row 2, and row 2 is the first row of our repeat, and we just chain 1 and turn and work 1 single single crochet into each stitch straight across. So this row is our, okay, we get a little bit of a break. That's what I call it anyway, a break row. So just single crochet straight across. Just about there. And to end the row, we single crochet into the top of that chain 3. Okay, now for row 3, chain 1 and turn. Alright, so row 3, we work a double crochet into that very first single crochet right there. 1. And now we work a double into the next 3 singles. 2 and 3. So each row 3 repeat that you work is going to begin with 4 double crochets and end with 4 double crochets. I keep realizing that I'm halfway off camera. All right. So we worked a double crochet into that very first single, and then a double into the next 3. Okay, so row 3, we got our 4, and now we're going to work the repeat of our row. Skip the next single, double crochet into the next 2 singles. 1 and 2. Now we are going to front post treble around the double crochet 2 rows below, which it's a little off-centered, and it always will be, because singles and doubles do not have the same, you follow it straight down, right? It's actually offset just a tad, and here's a little secret how you're going to know every time which double crochet you need to work into. So if you hold this like this, so we're going to be working around the double crochets from the treble round we worked, right? Well, if you look, see the little space right here and the little space right there? The double that you're going to always treble around is the double crochet right next to both of those. This one's a tad bit hidden. That's right next to those spaces. So see the space we left right here? Then you're going to work a single crochet around, and then when you come back, you're going to know that the double crochet you need to treble around is right next to that space. Okay, so our front post treble, yarn over twice. Well, where do we go? Well, when we look, there's our space, the very next double, right? So insert your hook into that space to work a front post double or treble around the double that you need to work. So we skip the next 2 singles, and we're going to front post treble into the double crochet into the next double crochet 2 rows below. So we skip 2, and where's our next double? Well, it's a little confusing because it's kind of hard to see, but if we look for that space right there, the double crochet right next to it, to the inside towards our arrow, is where we need to work around, is the double that we need to work around. And that is the case for the entire block when you repeat row 3. Alright, so we worked our front post. Now we're going to come back and we're going to work a double into the 2 singles that we skipped. So just lay everything to the front. See your 2 singles right there? Those are what we need to double crochet into. 1 and into the next one. 2. Now we skip the next single and single crochet, double crochet into the next 6. Skip the next single, double crochet into the next 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we start our row repeat over again. Skip the next single, double crochet into the next 2 singles. So we skip 1 and we work 1 and 2. Now we're going to front post treble around the double crochet 2 rows below the single that we skipped. Well, that's kind of confusing. So what do? We find that space that we have, that little gap, and on this side of our arrow it just so happens that we insert a hook into that space to pick up the front, that double that we need to front post around. Alright, now we skip the next 2 single and then work a front post treble around the double crochet of the next single 2 rows below. Well, it's a little confusing, but we know that we find that little space and work around the double crochet that's towards the arrow stitches right there. So on this side our hook comes out the space. Now the next part is to come back to the 2 doubles that we missed or skipped here and here and double crochet into the 2 that we skipped. 1 and 2. Now you skip the next, and in your case you would work into the next 6 and then repeat the row repeat, but repeat that to the end. And now at the end we skip 1 and work a double crochet into the last 4 singles. So skip the next, so we skip this one, double crochet into the next and into the last 4 singles. So that was 3 and 4. Alright, now row 2, chain 1 and turn, and here's our relax row. We just single crochet in each stitch straight across. Make sure you go into your very first stitch, which is the double, which is a double, and we just work a single into every stitch. I'm going to work row 3 again with you guys because I want to make sure, and I know I feel like I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it to you guys, so I want to make sure everybody understands. Single into that very last double. Alright, now we chain 1 and turn, and we repeat rows 3. So row 3 starts with our 4 doubles. So double crochet into that very first single and into the next 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's the beginning of row 3. Alright, so now our pattern repeat for the row. Skip the next single, double crochet into the next 2 double. So skip that one, double into the next, Now we front post treble around the double crochet 2 rows below the single that you skipped. Well, it's a little confusing, but we know on this side of the arrow, on this side of our arrow stitch, we double crochet into the, or front post treble around the double crochet to the left of our space, which on this side we just insert our hook into that space and pick up the next double. And that is what we front post treble around. Now we skip 2, work a front post treble around the double crochet 2 rows below. Well, it's a little confusing, but on this side of our arrow we know that we come out of that space. Right there it is. And we work our treble. Now we come back and double crochet into the 2 singles that we skipped. Oop. Well, for Pete's sake. 1 and 2. Skip the next single and double crochet into the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Repeat that set again. Skip the next single, double crochet into the next 2 singles. Now we front post treble around the double crochet below the skipped single. Well, it looks like that one, right? But it's not. It's this one. It's the one to the left of our gap right there. So yarn over twice, and it, your hook goes in that space to work a front post treble around that double that we need to work around. And I have a knot. All right, we skip 2 and we front post treble around the double to the right of our space. So on this side, our hook comes out that space. And now we come back and double into the 2 singles that we skipped. 1 and 2. Skip 1, double crochet into the next 6, and then repeat that until you get to the end. In the end, the only difference is we double and crochet into the last 4. So we skip 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you can see your arrow stitch starting to show. So then you chain 1, repeat row 2, single crochet across. So then you just repeat 2, 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3 until your block is at 12 inches and you end on a row 2, single crochet row. Chain 1, fasten off, weave in your ends, block just a touch, and that's it. That is your first extra block of the Afghan. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you need any help whatsoever, email me and I will be more than happy to help you guys out, because I know this one does get a little bit confusing. And like I said, I kind of feel like I may have made it worse the way I was explaining it. Alright. Hey, hit that thumbs up if you liked my tutorial. Leave me a comment. Subscribe if you haven't so you get a notification for all my videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.